Hello YouTube, this is Ready Set Exploit, and we're going to be doing SQHell from TryHackMe, which is a very fun room that it's all about SQL injections. There are 5 flags we have to attain, and they all have different approaches, some about the same, some of them slightly different than others. I really enjoy this room because it really goes into, it can be such a masterclass when it comes to SQL injection. You can use Sqlmap for some of the flags, but I won't be using any of that because there's so much to learn about just doing the approach manually. I will be going over how to, write our own scripts to get the information that we want, using Burp suite and some of the different payloads and how to find them. So, well, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. So, first thing is we have a separate folder, and we just have to go to the site, which I'm going to go ahead and skip the Nmap scan because this room just focuses mainly on the website. So we have the site, this blog site, and we have posts, and just looking at it we can see like the user page, post, right? All vulnerable parameters here. If you're familiar with SQL injection, this is usually where you start attacking. Terms and conditions page, login, and a register. So I'll take it in order. When I first did this room, it was very out of order, but I'll go ahead and get started with the first flag. First one is actually located in the login page, and we could try unit standard admin. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Burp suite ready, and let's see, set up the proxy. That way you can kind of see the payloads as they go. And I'm not going to intercept any request. User options, see if we can get a bit of a bigger display, 14. Alright, hopefully that's okay. So let's capture this request, invalid username and password, that's okay. If we go to proxy or CTP history, you see it. I want to Control R to send to repeater, and there we go. I don't believe there's a way to make this bigger, but that's okay, at least to my knowledge. It's better. No, that's okay, but hopefully it's good enough. So what we can do is we have our parameters here. So standard payload is, you could do a single quote. I'm gonna render, this thing, and we see still nothing. Do double quote, see if we get some kind of error. We don't. We can just try a standard bypass, admin, or 1 equals 1, and then we're gonna comment out the rest, and we bypass it. So this is a pretty standard payload. The query is probably something like select username, password from maybe like a table called users, and commas are misplaced incorrectly. So what this is doing is we're kind of commenting out we're ending the query, and then we're putting another statement that's true, right? And then and then we're gonna comment out the rest. So whatever, even if we put password, so the password doesn't have to be correct, right? So we could even put whatever name, and you see, wait, it could just be the site. Okay, there we go. So this only works if we have the right username. What if we put anything? See, so if we don't have the right username, we don't, it doesn't work. So this payload is depending on the username, which, pretty much we know standard username is admin. Otherwise, any of the other SQL injections would have revealed that this is a valid username. But an admin or a known username, then single quote, or 1 equals 1, coming out the rest. It's known as a SQL injection login bypass, right? Because we're saying this or this is true and ignore out the rest. Could also do this, see if that works. Yeah, see, that works too. And the reason why this works is because, again, we're closing the query here with this comma, and we're commenting out the password field. Okay, so because of that, it just checks to see that the username is right. So it's just misconfigure SQL injection, and we get our first flag. So we can move on to the next one. Call this flag 1. Next one is in the terms and conditions page, right? And this one is tricky. It's not very obvious because there's no parameter. FL2. There's no parameter here, right? We could try doing something here on the URL endpoint, but really, we could even look at the source. There's nothing really that gives it away. The only hint we have is we log your IP address for analytical purpose, and we can look at the console, reload it, under network. See right here, the server is Nginx, and also see it here on Burp. And if we Google something like the log IP address from users Nginx, this site right here talks about the using the X forwarded 4 header or X real IP. So we can try this header, and then now you can control it. So what happens on the back end is it probably has this header and it logs our IP address, which is our VPN. Whoops. IP address, if we open this up, see it here. But now we can kind of control it ourselves. We can try some basic payloads, right? And unfortunately, nothing gets reflected on here. See, we can do that, nothing. So this is when we can try a time-based union injection. So I'm going to just single quote, union select. So now I'm going to start guessing the columns, right? Union select, so we're going to start guessing columns. I'm going to say this database has 1 column. Okay, where database like binary, and this allows me to start guessing the name of the database, starting with this wildcard. And sleep 2. Then we're gonna comment out any other the rest. So if we, I'm gonna copy X this out. If we just do this, we see at the bottom right, it's less than a second, 2.24 milliseconds. Do it. Still not a hit. Why? Because most likely I don't have the right columns. Doesn't mean, it could also mean that it's not vulnerable. So usually I like to get up to 6. Any more than that, then I'll try a different approach. Union select 3. And you see there's a delay. It didn't fully load. Do it again. There we go. And now it was it was more than 2 seconds. So sleep worked. That means there are 3 columns. We can test that if we go to 4. We load up right away. So we have a match here. And now we have to figure out the name, because we're using a wildcard here. And like binary just means it'll check for both lower and capital letters. So if I do A, right, nothing. And if you make your way down the alphabet all the way to S, just to save you some time, it actually loads. It actually takes longer to load. So then that means the database starts with the letter S. Okay, so you could do it manually one by one, but that's going to take a long time. So this is when flag 2. This is when scripting skills come in handy. You don't have to do it this way. You could also use Burp's Intruder. Right? You can use this module, but this also takes some time. So for example, let's do this. We're gonna add there sniper and do payloads. We're gonna do seclist, fuzzing. Just do alphanumeric extra. See all these payloads here. Actually, this one we're gonna remove. That's a wildcard. So I'm gonna remove this one for now. This underscore, because that can also be a wildcard. So now we're gonna go ahead and see. And you see it goes through every single one, and it takes just a little bit of time. And does it tell me the response time? I don't think it does. Oh, response received. There we go. See? So this one's 2230. So we want to look for something that's similar, right? Otherwise, they're about the same. But there's 93 characters, and it's going one by one. So while it's doing that, we're gonna go ahead and create our own. I'm gonna flag2.py. So first I need request, and I need time. I'm gonna if name equals main. We're gonna do URL. Need the URL here. Close this out for now. Go close that out. There. Now we're gonna go to our database function. I'm gonna do yank, paste the function with the R variable there. And now I'm gonna set a, let's see, first I'm gonna set the words, right? I'm gonna need a bit of everything. Let's see, opt, seclist, fuzzing. Let's see, I need alphanumeric case. Okay, there you go, that's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of any line breaks. TR, that's it. I'm gonna do commas, there we go. And then I'm no, that's not right. Now I'm gonna do sed, remove the commas into nothing for every line. And I could have done that here, but TR doesn't like that very much, so I'm gonna do that. Now we have our words. We need special characters. So maybe, let's see, special characters. There we go. PI flag. I'm gonna get rid of, I'm gonna make a break there, like a line break there, because otherwise it closes it. And I want to move this underscore here. And where is the percentage? Because that's a wildcard, and there we go. And if we take a look back, it's still going. See, it takes its time. And see, so I don't want this to get in the way. And let's see. We need a blank. Yep, need a blank. And what else? I need a counter. Count equals 0. Need a blank string, because we're gonna have to add strings, right? So while count is less than, we're gonna do an endless loop until it's when it reaches the end of this string, it'll stop, right? Otherwise it'll keep going. Now we need a timer because we have to measure the response of the site. And words are the first word is gonna be the blank plus words count. So this is just starting the first letter of the word, which in this case will happen to be 0, right? And now we need a headers. Oh, and this, let's see, we go back here, need my repeater, let's copy this, and export it for, that's fine. There, okay. So I need to replace it here. This is where the wildcard's gonna be. So I'm going to plus words. Let's see. I don't want to mess this one up. So word. Words plus there. So there we go. Now let's close this header. Wrong. And we're gonna now make our request. So request. This is probably gonna be the longest part, because after that it's just a bunch of copy pasting. Headers equals headers. And then we're gonna now check the response time. Check equals end minus start. So it's gonna give us a number. And if we're gonna round that number, check is less than 2 seconds. So if it's good, we're gonna go up the count. So we go to the next string here, or else we're gonna print our word once it gets a match. Then we're gonna set the initial equals that word. So that when we come back here, it's gonna be that word plus the next word, and then check that wildcard. And then we reset the count back to 0 because we don't, otherwise it'll just keep moving along. And then that's should be it. Should work, I hope. Let's see, there we go. We have a match we have 2 matches for the letter S. See? So that took some time. So, and what did I miss? Oh, okay, typo there. Name, there we go. And okay, let's see if it works. So while that's running, we know it was the letter S. So what could be the next one? Oh, there we go. See, we have a match. S. So that's running, and you can work along with the script, right? You can do S. Name of the room is SQ, so you can try SQ and see if you get a response. Take some time. Okay, so then you can kind of start playing around, but see, script's faster, SQH. And now, probably guess SQHE. And it's faster than, unless you have like the pro edition of Burp. The scripting will be your best bet. Also, it's just good practice to being able to create a script like this. Because especially if you're studying for OSCP, using something like Sqlmap, I believe, will hinder your points. So being able to just do this, and just good practice, especially if you're looking to get more serious into this, or if it's just a hobby. So we have SQHell. Okay, so we kind of guessed that. But is there anything else after that? SQHell. So what we can do now is, once we brute force that, we need to know what db, send this over, call this fl2. Now we need to know the tables, right? And it's a similar approach. And if you're not sure about this payload, TryHackMe has a room called SQL Injection, which pretty much covers this exact payload, how to brute force the names, right? Because otherwise you're just guessing. Oh, we have SQL _1. Okay. So let's see. We have, let's go for the table. Let's see. So it's pretty similar. So you can select 1, 2, 3. It's going to be from information schema dot tables where table schema equals SQL _1. At least I'm thinking that's the name. Yes, perfect. Equals 1 and table name like binary, and we're gonna do the same thing. And let's see if we get an eye. Oh, there we go. So it hangs for a little long, but do it again. Yeah, okay. That payload's gonna work. So first thing is I'm gonna do flag 2. So we have our database called that SQL _1. I'm gonna comment this out. Now I'm gonna do tables. I'm gonna do URL database, and I'm gonna just copy this because it's basically the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna yank it, capital P to paste, or P, doesn't matter. I'm gonna call this, did I say tables or tables? Tables. Okay, so now we have to do database, and now we just copy and paste our payload here. It's going to be the same exact thing. So I'm actually going to copy it from here, from the ending on the 1, 2, 3. And minimize this. You can see. And I'm sorry if that's really small. I didn't mean that. There we go. Let's do that. Sorry about that. So you can select. There we go. Much better. So where here plus db plus, I have to make the, there we go, plus there, and table name like binary plus word plus, there we go. So see if that works. And has no string object db. That's why that's supposed to be comma. Okay, so far so good. And now we're gonna start guessing the table, right? So now what I'm gonna do is, then we have to start guessing columns, COL, and probably can follow the same pattern. So let's see. I think I got it. Okay, it's taking some time, but we can keep going. At least set up the next payload. Oh, something went wrong there. Flag 2. Let's see. Mention schema. Let's see. Where did I make an error? Database. table schema equals database and table name like binary and sleep. Let's see. Pretty sure I got that right? SQL _1. And this is the response time. Maybe I made a typo somewhere. Let's do, oh, let's see if this works for us. I'm gonna send this to Intruder and SQL. So let's see right here. Payloads, load. I'm gonna do small ones. So not alphanumeric. Let's see. Is there one with just letters? One for all letters? No, I don't want this too much. Remove, clear. Let's do this one. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's start attack just to make sure didn't mess something up. Did I do? Let's see, column, respond, receive. Yeah. Let's see if we get a hit on anything else. For some, okay, I see. Well, no. If it's less than, so it looks like for some reason it's giving me a pretty long response. If you notice, is every time I do it is 4 seconds as opposed to just 2. So if we do it again, and there we go. For some reason it's doing 4. And that's probably what's happening. Yeah, see, oh, okay. We got a G. Let's see. What does the payload look like? Okay, well, for one, I put it after. Maybe I should fix that. Let's see. So now let's start the attack again. Shouldn't be 4. Should just be 2. Right? Let's try it again. Maybe something happened. And columns, response received. There we go. So there is a response. Okay, so is F, it's also an H. That's weird. Okay. Maybe, well, different tables. But F is one of them. So we know an F is there. Well, let's see what's going on. Make sure I got everything right. Word, tables, URL, database, SQL, DB. Got it right. Let's see. _1. Oops. Let's see. Just in case I made a typo somewhere. Great. Messed that up. Thought I copied it. There we go. And union select from information schema tables, where table schema, binary. Maybe it's just like binary. Doesn't like it. Like Word, okay. Actually, just to make sure we're okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an F at the beginning and just remove it. Okay, so something's off. Shouldn't take that long. Something's off with our payload. And X forwarded for request get. Let's just let it run for a second. Could just be that 4-second weirdness. Because it definitely works here. We have an F and an H. If we go back to repeater, do F, does hang for a bit, and it's exactly 2. But for some reason our let's see, terms and conditions, did I miss something? No. It worked for the URL. Let's see. What I'm going to do is maybe I'll set up a proxy and see what's going on. Let's see. Tables URL database. Okay. Just to make sure we see proxies equal proxy. So what we'll do is proxy HTTP 27. I think that's it. Proxy equals syntax. Oh. Let's see, connection. I don't remember which one it is. Python proxy request. Oh, I think that's it. Proxy with Python requests. Proxies. Okay. So is proxies equals proxy. Oh, so I had it right. So let's intercept it. See, what am I missing? Okay. Let's see, did I miss anything? So it's just, yeah, HTTP proxies equals proxies. Let's see. Yeah, looks fine. Proxies equals proxy HTTP. Oh, okay. Do I need that? There we go. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna send this over. Okay, yeah, so something's wrong with our payload here. And I'm not sure what the difference is. X forwarded for you, select schema where SQHell and table name like and 4, 5, 4, 8. Yeah, I don't know why this payload just isn't working. Select from information schema.tables. this one's working. Let's do F. Cancel. Look, if we, oh well, if we move this over here, that's it, and it is pretty sure is the exact same one. All right, let's copy this. Oh, I see it. Okay, that was me. That's what's happening. I forgot this. That's on me. There we go. Now, in binary, it's always some kind of typo. Actually, we should, yeah. Now it's gonna work, watch. I love that proxy option. There we go, F. It's very handy. So I must have just, when I copied it over here, I must have forgotten. I mean, it worked here though, but I don't know, maybe something with the request. Here, must have copied it, must have missed it, but it's okay. I'll just put that on the video descriptions, you can skip right through it. But you see, that's the love of scripting. You learn even when you've done it before. So there we go. Okay, so we have a table called flags, and now we're gonna get the column. Okay, so it's pretty much the same. From information schema, now we're gonna do columns where table schema equals and table name equals the table name, and column name like binary and sleep 2. And this time I won't mess this one up. There we go. 4 seconds delayed response, that works. So now let's have this ready. Yep, flag 2. Now I'm gonna make sure. So I must have deleted it by mistake because I copied it from here and this had it. So at some point I messed up the copy. So yank, take a few spaces, paste it, capital P. We're gonna call this cols. So it's gonna be the same thing. Now our tables is gone. I'm gonna do table equals flag. Now we're gonna do cols equals URL database table. There. We go back to the top, database table. And this is going to be pretty much this. Okay, so maybe when I pasted it, even though I pasted the whole thing, I see what happened. So because I deleted this, I pasted this incorrectly from here or somewhere. But since I know this payload works, or it must have been from here, I missed that one thing. Well, like I said, the proxy option is great for debugging as well. So here we go. So now we just have to, well, you know, I'm not gonna add these variables because they're already there. But this one I have to edit. Plus word plus that. So there we go. This should work. Let's see. Yeah, okay. F, okay, I forgot to change the string, but there we go, F, L. So we can kind of now guess it's gonna be flag. So like the last one, Now we can do FL2 extract. So this one, since we know the table and the column name, we can now extract information from it from flag, from the table name, where flag, like, we still need to brute force it though. Binary, wildcard, and sleep 2. There we go. Getting our response. Okay, so this payload works. Now we need to figure out the flag, but we know, let's just assume we don't know. If you're doing this challenge, some of the TryHackMe flags start with a T, or THM, and then the flag, right? So if we do T, see it hangs. If we do A, it doesn't. So we could guess that way as well. Now we're gonna do flag. We're gonna do. Actually, we don't need this anymore. Don't know why then. So now we're gonna do extract. We just need the URL. Oops. And I'm gonna again copy capital V. We're gonna yank. That was with Y, capital P to paste. And now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do lowercase v. And we're gonna delete. There we go. I'm gonna paste this whole thing so I don't miss anything. Minimize it. There. And same thing here. Plus word. There. And yeah, should be fine. Now this, I'm actually gonna leave running, and then I'm gonna move on, because it's gonna take a while, and I just realized what I did. Let's comment that out. Let's see. I have to do extract. Extract URL. Okay, I see. There. And that should do it. Probably have a bunch of history. Oh yeah, wait. Why am I still doing the proxy? Am I calling the right one? Oh, it's because, okay, it's because I have the proxy set. I'll probably get rid of that. Let's see. Just comment it out in case it doesn't work. Don't want to do it again. Let's see. Yank. No proxies. But yeah, I'm gonna let this one run, because if we did everything right, it'll start printing out the flag, and that's gonna take a while. So while it does that, let's move on to flag number 3, right? Let's see, flag number 3 is actually located in the register section. And let's see, am I still? Yeah, I am. Okay. So if we go here, if we try to create anything, it's actually intercepted. Try to create it, no longer open. But, oh, didn't capture it. But if we go here on the history, it did. Something happened on the back end. So we're gonna send that to a repeater. Flag 3. And we see this response. It is available. This is another way you could have found that the admin user existed. If we do admin, it's not available, right? So we can do another time-based injection. Comma, union, select, and same thing, we're gonna guess. And sleep 2. And you see there's a bit different output. It's telling me admins available. So we know an injection is possible. Now we have to guess the columns. 2, 3. Oh, it delays. Ah, there we go. Starts printing the flag. So that's gonna take a while. So I want to open up a new window. Call this flag 3. Make this bigger. Flag 2, flag 3, and you'll see why I'm doing this. Because the payloads are more or less the same. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. So flag 1, database. So like binary. There you go. And union select. We'll copy our same payload. Did I do that right? Union select 1, 2, 3. Where? Okay. See. And sleep. Oh, okay, I got it right. But I don't know the database name, so now let's see if we got this right. Oh, a delay. So this works. So now we just have to alter our payload. So I'm going to do flag 3. I'm going to minimize this so we can just see a little bit better. And let's see, we don't go to the bottom. It's gonna do this. I don't know the database name yet, but I do need a new URL. And this is the register username. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this. There we go. And we just have to switch this payload around. This is going to be its own string. So let's see. So I have register. So I think I need here because I have user check. Okay. So I'm going to. So that stays. Payload. My payload is going to change. There you go. So now I don't need this. I still need this. And I don't need the headers. And I should minimize this. And here. Word. There we go. And that should give me what I need. 3. Oh, starting to print. So see, this part takes forever, right? But it is very worth it once you ever get a working script. So I probably won't let this run entirely. I already spoiled like flag 1, but I won't let it run entirely so we can move on. But let's see if this is working. Hopefully it gets me a letter soon. But yeah, you see, eventually you just kind of use the same scripts around. At least, spoiler alert, for flag 2, 3, and 4. Similar. Oh, okay, so now we have a failed somewhere. Let's see. Okay, I have the right quotations. Database URL. I probably messed something up here. Let's see. And I know what I did. I have to add it together. There you go. And if that doesn't work, then we're back to Burp Suite to see what's failing. And before I could have easily missed that little dash. Oh, there we go. You have an S. So it's working. It's still going. All right, what's the next letter? We have S. Q. Okay, it's SQH, probably it's the same thing, but one number. So we can actually guess. See, one. Which one did we have? We had one, right? So we had one. So this is probably gonna be. This could be 2. No. See if we could beat the script. 3. It's 3. Okay. That was a delay. So 3. Yep. Delay. Okay. So we could go through the process of enumerating the tables, enumerating the columns again, but as you see, it takes time, right? And realistically, you would have to do that if you're dealing with different databases. But for the sake of time, and my first time I did this, and by the fourth script, I figured they were all the same. But my first time I got as far as the tables and realized this following the same format. So this is SQL 3, which is the same format as SQL 1 over here. So you can make an educated guess and figure out that the table and columns for flag 3, it's the same for it's the same as the other ones, like SQL_1, and you see we have it. So let's close this, and with that in mind, let's just do that for that. And we're gonna go ahead and go right for the extract. So I'm actually gonna just copy this, just so I don't miss anything. I'm gonna yank it. And I forgot what I copied already. And I messed up because if I delete this, it'll just copy that. So let's go back to the bottom. Let's copy from the check to the start. Yank. Back to the top of GG. And I messed up the wrong one. Okay, let's do that again. So extract, we're going to delete. And we're going to just copy this. Yep. Back here. Capital P. Paste. Beautiful. Back to the bottom. And there. 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 And we're going to extract it. And just to make sure that it is working, same thing, I'm going to put, I know that the T works, so I'm going to put that first. And where the T is, just to save time, I'm going to delete that. And see if we get a hit. If we don't, back to the proxy. And I probably didn't do something right, I'm sure. Yep, it's taking too long. So already, oh, that's why, because I copied the wrong thing. So, let's see, we're gonna do the same payload. So for the extract, right? 1 to 3 from. So it's gonna be from there. So from flag, we're flag, yep. Word. There we go. So this should work. Should get a match for T within a few seconds. There we go. So T, and this is still going. I'll end it here, just so that we don't bog down the network. And there we go. And that will be, so if you follow that script, you get second flag here, you get the third flag. As you see, it's going through. We have a T, we have a response. So while that's going, you guessed it, I'm gonna go and go right to the fourth flag. And this one was the toughest flag, if I'm being honest. In my shoe, where are you? This one is actually in the, if we go to the home page, in the user ID section, right? This was the toughest flag. And the reason is because, in my opinion, unless you encountered this attack before, it's like hard to figure out. And I got stuck here for a bit and I almost didn't figure out. The only reason why I figured out is because this page called Hack Tricks. We could do SQL injections. I think it's this one. And if we go down, where is it? Let's see. It's this one, exploring union base. So there's union base. There we go. I was just going down the list, see if there's anything I missed. And there's touched on hidden union-based injections, right? And again, I'll explain how I was able to even sort of guess how this was the thing. So it led me to this page, and I'm scrolling through, and I eventually found this thing. Let's see, this one. Is it this one? Where is it? I'll know when I see it. Right here. Yes, right here. So you see it's 1, 2 union select and then another union select. So it gets injected into a second query, right here. So it's like an injection within an injection. And that is called nested injection. Okay, so nested SQL injection. And I only knew this because I'd seen it before. So essentially what it is you just, let's say we have our SQL injection. It's here somewhere. There we go. So this looks like mine, right? Union select, 1, 2, 3, from users, whatever. And there's a second union injection within there. And the reason why we do that is because sometimes you can access another part of the database or another database which is more access that you typically wouldn't have. And that, I haven't seen it often. I have seen it, I have dealt with it, and that was the only reason why. So I saw this, I was like, oh, I didn't try nested, because I tried a bunch of different things. And I didn't try nested SQL, and I was able to get it working. So if you were stuck here, couldn't figure out, that's totally okay, because I think this one just came down to experience. There's really nothing on the page, not on the first post or anything that talks about nested. So I think that's what made this one a little bit tougher. But nevertheless, let's move on. Let's look at our flag 3. Okay, so that's working. So we could just move that. We're gonna actually copy flag 3 to flag 4. We'll leave that for now, because now we don't need this. Let me clean this up, since we know I was able to work. So there, I'm gonna user Peter, call this flag 4, right? So this is also tricky, because if you tried union select 1 and went all the way up to like 6 or 7, you would have gotten this response, right? Cannot find user. If we do user 1, we get a response. So this is what we're trying to get. Trying to bypass it, not get that one response. And the thing with SQL injections is, and this just comes down to just trying different things. Comma, you could do a number that doesn't exist, like, let's see, like 323, nothing, right? Let's see. But if we just try about like 1 and then nothing after, let's see, still doesn't, nothing, right? And then it's just a matter of trying. So we go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, we get a bypass, okay? And does that work? So it didn't work with a single quote. And honestly, see, we get a response there with a number that doesn't exist. And sometimes, just from my experience, it's about trying different payloads. It usually comes down to single quote, double quote, number doesn't exist, or nothing, just straight to the union select. So there's 3 columns here again, right? But if we do 1, we see that we get the user ID 1, admin. If we do a number that doesn't exist, like 1337, we get username 1 and username 2, user ID 1. So that means that when using the union, this is where the union select comes in handy. It tells you where on the page the columns are being displayed. So just to give an example, so 1 is being displayed in the user ID, 2 is being displayed in the username. So if I do hi, we are right in it. See? So how will that help us? So we can't access anything with 1, because if we try that with 1, because 1 is a match for admin, it just shows us admin. So this is where we have to kind of combine the so even if we try to brute force database, we could brute force the database, right? We're gonna do that. So it might not work because we're I'll explain why. So let's go back to here. So let's go ahead and try the nested. This is where the nested SQL injection comes in, because we could try doing the whole, like we're a database, but it'll just be constricted to a single database. We won't find anything. Now, this is why once I figured this out, I still got stuck here. But then when I tried the the nested SQL injection, so we're gonna do 1. So it's about accessing something we don't have. So let's say we do 2 or like 3. Union select 1, 2, 3. Let's go to 4. Right? If you would have gone 1 by 1, and this is where the tough part really comes in, right? See, we do get a response on 4. If we do 3, see that 2, it's gone. But if we do 4, so we're on the right track. But this is the second column here, but we don't have access to anything, right? And we could do the same thing. But if we do 1, now we have access to what appears to be another database, right? Because the first database just displaying the username and ID. So like a users table. And that's what we would have found if we would have brute forced it. We would have brute forced the database and just gotten a users table. And if you use Sqlmap here, actually that is what you get. But when you do the nested SQL injection, we are accessing a different, what seems to be a different, it could be the same database, but maybe like a hidden table or a hidden post, or a hidden column. Because now the number 2 is here from this. And also it's different, it's 4 columns as opposed to 3. So, and the number 1, so if, it indicates for the user admin. If we do 2, there is no second user. So therefore it just shows you nothing, right? It shows you, okay, you are accessing the database, but there's nothing for that user. But for 1, there is. And this is where that comes in. But now we still need to brute force that database name. So this is where, and I shouldn't have deleted it, but I did, where database like binary percent and sleep. This is where the sleep comes in handy, because it was, no matter what we put, it'll still show the same result. So we do that right there. Let's see, could be wrong. Let's see, A. Oh, well, that works too. You see, A doesn't give us a 2, but this one was hard for me when doing the scripting, because the page changes. I could have do some regular expression, but I wanted to keep it simple. So this is where the sleep came in. If I do sleep, and this is where the time base, although time base can be a pain, it allows us to, you see, it allows us to figure things out. So union select, like binary, and sleep 2, and we have a response. But if we do A, no, right? We could try S. There's a delay. And now that 2 doesn't appear there, but we do get a delayed response. So there's our script. So let's get the database, and then just like and then can move from there. I'm actually going to close this, call this flag 4, and do flag 4, minimize this, minimize that. So hopefully that made sense when it came to nested SQL injections. Like I said, it's weird to wrap your head around, but it's I was only able to find it because I had seen it before, you know, and that's pretty much that's pretty much it. So user, we're just going to copy this whole thing. So actually I'm going to just do this, and now the payload, so it's pretty much going to follow the same thing. So all the way to U, copy that, and there we go. User ID 1337. Okay, so see here the line breaks because we have the double quotes. See, and plus word there, and close these. There we go. And this should work. See, let's find out. Then you'll start to see the same pattern. So really flag number 2 was our longest one because we were constructing everything. But the creator of this room, N, that's not right. N. What I missed? Word like binary. Word, I think whoops. No, there we go. That's what I missed. Those little typos. But I believe that's working correctly. Should get a hit soon. And then getting the flag here is actually pretty easy. You could do it the long way. S. Okay, we knew that already. If we see a Q, then we can guess what the flag's going to be. It's just going to be about figuring out the number. Let's see. Q. Okay. It's Q, so we can kind of guess that this is going to be SQHell underscore. Now we already had 1 and 3. Is it 2? No. Is it 4? It's 4. Okay. So this is where you can, you know, pretty much keep going and get the flag the same way as before. But we know that it's SQL4, so we can again make an educated guess that the table name and column are probably the same. So we can do something like so union select 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And now we can actually dump out the database. So this payload is union select, and now it's just a matter of guessing. But not really, because we kind of knew, right? Whoops. We know that any post, it's actually going to be displayed here. So we know the number 2 is there. So we're going to go ahead from the table name, which is flag. And if you just guessed this, eventually you would have seen. So let's do, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're going to select flag from flag. Nothing, right? But if we do 2, because we know that the second column is displayed there, we get the 4th flag. And we could have gotten this flag going through the brute forcing method, but it would just take way too long, you know. So we'll just do this payload. So, but we still needed to at least know the database name. We could have guessed that too, but at least that way you get good practice, and we were able to figure it out without a very minimal guessing. If it didn't work, then we would have had to see if the table name were different, because they could have been. The last one is the post parameter. This one is a little bit easier. It goes from easy to middle to hard back to kind of more medium, right? So here, got this. Probably gonna regret closing those. Flag 5. Post ID. And this one, same thing. We could try. If we try a double quote, a single quote, we get an error. Double quote, we get an error. And I got stuck not as long as flag 4, but I was trying different union injection payloads. But eventually, you know, if you go down again with the strategy of not trying anything, you know, quote, double quotes, and then get to a couple columns, you will get a match on it, right? So, but we see it's almost similar to with the user ID. We have one, post one shows. 2, post 2 shows. So let's do it with one that doesn't exist. 3. Now we see that column 2 and 3 both display. And now this one's easier in the terms of we can select which column to drop our payload, right? So I'm gonna do 2. You could do just 3. So we're gonna do select group. This is gonna display in a very nice manner. Schema name underscore name from information schema dot schemata 3-4, and let's see if that works. There we go. And you see we have SQL underscore 5, right? I'm gonna call this flag 5 DB, so we don't, in case we mess up, we don't lose track. So now we're gonna dump the table, and this is possible because the values display. If they didn't display, we would have to brute force it. So this is what makes it a little bit easier. So whenever something's displayed on the page, this is the payload to do. So now we could guess that the flag and table are the same, but I'm going to actually take the approach of enumerating the table because it's very, very good to do. So what we're going to do is, I want to delete up to here. Yeah. So table name, and I'm going to separate them by a semicolon, column name, and we're gonna separate it by a little space, line break, from information schema dot columns where table schema equals, I believe that was SQL underscore 5. Then close that parentheses. See, did I do it right? Yay. Okay, and you can kind of see all of them. So we have flag ID, flag, post ID, post username. So it's table, column, right? Users, tables. And now we can get our flag. So we're gonna do all the way to group concat here. So we're gonna do flag, okay. So select, where am I? Okay, here. Flag, line break, flag, let's see, did I do that right? Yes, forgot the comma there. I'll do a nice little line break. I don't think this is working, but could do it that way. From SQL underscore 5 dot flag, table name is flag. Did that work? It did. There we go. So we have our flag here. It's kind of escaping the page, but we're selecting from the table, no, the column. So we could select, actually this, I selected twice, did you see? That's why I got confused there. So we could do that. There we go. We're selecting flag from the table and database. There we go. That's the fifth flag. So that pretty much does it. That's all the flags. I hope that was informative. This room was a bit tough, especially flag 4. You know, but definitely learned a lot from it, and thank you for sitting through the debugging of the code on flag 2. You know, it's always good to learn how to debug things. Even though I wrote it for the post, things go wrong all the time. But being able to debug and use things like proxies to see exactly what you're missing, because otherwise I would have missed it. I probably would have just recopied everything, and that probably would have fixed it. But at least that way I was able to see exactly what was wrong. So feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and see you all next time.